And hello, everybody. Glad to be here with you. Awaken Sales Facebook Live Monday. Yay. So we're here to talk about Ask It Big. We're in the new year. It's time to allow ourselves to open to so much more. And so for so many of you, you're already been in a place of opening energetically more and more and allowing yourself to receive more of the fullness of who you truly are. And in that process, it's time of integration of higher dimensional energy that's streaming in through you as you continue to open. And the contracted parts inside of you no longer can continue to hold the way they used to be. So in this process, you're going to find great surges of bliss and energy, and then also times of fear and contraction showing up going into this new year, because collectively we're asking big right now. We're really asking big. There's a lot of asking in a big way right now going on collectively, and within all that, there's a lot of energy with that. There's a lot going on to open up the bandwidth. We've got a lot going on. Truly, I mean, a lot of times people say there's so much going on energetically and all these sorts of things. It's kind of perpetual, what people talk about, but there really is a big opening right now for us energetically, and a lot is opening up for us. So with all that being said, it's allowing you the opportunity to open to more possibilities and more opportunities for you, and for you to step into a container of this asking big. A lot of times what's happening is the moment could be ripe for us to start asking bigger, but because of the places that are still holding tighter inside of ourselves, we don't go ahead and allow ourselves to let go, allow ourselves to ask bigger, and therefore to receive bigger, and to be a more open channel of transmission, of our transmission, our natural transmission we have to share and to give and to receive. Because it's really when we're asking big, there's so many layers to this conversation, but when we're asking big, we're really asking to open up more, our energetic bandwidth level, and to let go. That's why so many of us are saying, I just want to surrender. I just want to let go. And I want to rock it, right? That's what, rock your sacred purpose. There you go. That's the theme of this group. So we have that opportunity, but I know for a lot of you, it's hard for you to ask big. And I'll talk more about what that means. I'm going to get into that. So we'll talk a little bit longer about this. Then I'm going to do my usual group scanning for everybody around asking big. Then I'll do maybe a few energy scans individually for you guys, if there's people that want energy scans today. And then I'll do some channeled messages towards the end of the Facebook Live today. So, all right. So again, what's going on for you? I talked about this collective energy where we are. We're in a huge transition energetically on the planet right now. I know people, again, have probably said that for 20 years, right, or more, forever. But this right now, you can really, if you're like me, you really feel it. If you're like so many other people, you really feel it even at another level. As technology keeps advancing and more and more, we've got more and more energy going on there. We've got energy going on in terms of simultaneously with consciousness wanting to really open up and expand. Are we opening to this greater bandwidth? How can you ask big? How can you open to it? What is the way that allows you to land with that and to ground and to receive at that next level in your life and your business, and to be a greater value and service to others? What we've been conditioned with is often as light leaders, even world-changing light leaders, we get images that come to mind around perhaps someone like Jesus, and we think about Mother Teresa, or we think about, I don't know, maybe we do think about a Martin Luther King, or we think about Gandhi. A lot of these figures at first, not all of them, but first thought we have is that be the spiritual, often spiritual leaders, especially with someone like Jesus. The idea is we're just here to be of service. We're just here to open to that. And then what are the issues with that? So, like, for example, Jesus said, again, these things have been said, but they're worth repeating. These things the greater you shall do, right? Gandhi says any man would do the things that I do, just would follow my path, could do the things that I'm doing, and impact-wise. Any average person, I'm only average, is the gist of what he said. You have people, I happen to study a little bit in the martial arts world, and like Bruce Lee said, I'm just an average man with extraordinary ability to focus. So even some of the great teachers we could think of have told us that it's just a matter of really deciding that, allowing yourself to give yourself to what is already wanting to happen. That you feel this big thing is wanting to happen, and then saying, that's it, I want to allow my energy to align with that. It's an energetic thing. It's not that you need to just get on those big stages. You just need to, I don't know, you need to write that book, or you need to do whatever it is. You just need to make some more money right now, or whatever. Not necessarily, sometimes those things are true. We need that as part of it, but along the way, but that's not what's driving it. What's driving it, so to speak, or what's creating it is allowing ourselves to open to that world-changing vision that we were given in the first place. For me, I've seen myself working with thousands of people at a time, reaching millions of people. So that's the vibration that I'm opening to, right? I've already done that in certain ways, but I haven't done it at a consistency or the depth or level that I would like to up till now. So I'd like to let more of that in. But we have various mindsets or things in our mentality and our wounding that keep us from letting it in. What if I'm persecuted? What if I end up getting nailed on a cross, or get hung again, or whatever it is? So again, all those usual suspects. Or how I do want to actually be wealthy. I don't want to make a oath of poverty in this lifetime. What about that? I don't, in this idea of being a spiritual leader, it's not about the money, right? It's about the impact. It's about the leadership. It's about deep awakening, which wouldn't seem to have anything to do with money. So what if it could be both? What if it can be both? It isn't necessarily both for everybody. It's not necessarily the way it has to be at all. But what serves your path? Is money part of your learning school, part of your mastery school? Maybe money is part of what you're meant to embrace, that you're meant to ask big for money. One of the big limiters I see is people aren't willing to ask big for money. Then they can't land with the results they want. Again, I keep thinking about Mother Teresa right now. She would go to the billionaires, and when they put out like a check for $1 million, I don't know the exact numbers, but I remember these stories. She'd be like, come on, you've got a lot more. Put more on the table. Come on. She was willing to ask big, and then she would receive more. Like just something as simple as, I think about my wife, Deb, where we go places and she'll say, do you have, any free extra upgrades? Like if we're at a hotel or something like that. Before you know it, people are rolling out the red carpet simply because you are in a receiving mode. You're willing to receive it. You're not demanding anything. You just ask. Is it possible? Can we do better here? I would love to receive more. Are you willing to give me something? That we make that wrong. Like we shouldn't ask for too much is the idea, right? We shouldn't ever ask for too much, because when we ask for more, we're depleting someone else, but that's not true. When we ask for more, when we're willing to ask big, we have more of a capacity to share. When we're willing to ask bigger, we have more of a capacity to share. And again, whether we talk about Mother Teresa, who I just talked about, or we're talking about Jesus or Gandhi, or whatever figures you want to talk about, they are asking big, financially and otherwise often. Financially and otherwise. I'm sure there's different, I'm a little bit of a student of Gandhi and his history. I'm sure there's times that it involved finances. Okay, financially, we need to make these decisions, whatever it is. Or, Jesus asking like his disciples, leave everything behind, join me. To say, hey, pack up as much as you can, then come with me. He says, no, leave everything behind. How much are we trying to take everything that, we've already been up to and we're attached to energetically, trying to put it on our back and carry it forward, at the same time trying to open up to being these dynamic world changers in the world at the same time? How often are we doing that? A lot, I think. So because we don't want to let go of what we already have or what we've already experienced, we want to continue to just allow that to be what tethers us, to allow that to be what keeps us safe, to allow that to be what keeps us where we are. So what's the key to releasing that and asking bigger? So we're going to talk more about that today. And by the way, I will mention, as you've probably seen, we're doing a Reset from Regret coming up tomorrow night for free with my friend Susan Schatzter. So if you want to join us for that, I'll probably put a link in here when we're done, I'm sure. And then I've also posted in the group, pinned to the top, a little interview time I did with her. So check that out. Reset from Regret to blast off with new magic and joyful results in the new year. You're not going to want to miss that free event tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. So, but one of the key is to release these old energies. I'll be persecuted. People won't want to give to me. I'm not worthy of receiving. I'm not. All these concepts is just to release those energies. So we can do some transmissions today while we do the group scanning as well to help you with that. But you can just make a decision. Part of it is just deciding, I'm willing to open up. As you open up, psychically, you already realize that you're going to have to let go of some things internally. It's never the outer thing. It's not like, I couldn't let go. I just couldn't let go of that house I have. I mean, the house itself is what matters. No, it's what's inside of you that's represented inside of you from your connection with the house would be the issue, right? So it wouldn't be the physical item. It's what's inside of you that's connected inside you with the item, with the thing or the experience or the memory that keeps you just continue to be with it, or even obsessing about the same image, the same scene, every single day of your life, or constantly coming back to you. That it's calling to you to do what? It actually is asking you to ask bigger. You're in a little container. Wow, when I was in that scene, I felt so small, I felt so traumatized, I felt so whatever, like all the different things, no matter how minor or how big it was to the human mind, that it was like, it's like I couldn't receive more love. I wasn't able to. I wasn't even given the chance, this idea, like these things, like no one even cared about me. When the truth is that there is all love here. All opportunities are here. When we ask big to receive the love that we are, we allow ourselves to ask big that I want to have that world-changing business that I've been talking about, and it's real, and I'm willing to listen from the higher dimensional realm. I keep talking about coming from the 5D and beyond and channeling that, getting that into our energy and letting that ignite us. And when we allow that, that automatically begins to disintegrate or transmute, or however you want to look at it, the energy that's been stuck in our energy system, that's been mucking up the works for the higher consciousness that wants to lead the way and wants to manifest the greater things that we want to experience in the world, and for ourselves, of course, too, but for the world, for the consciousness, for the collective, ultimately, is really what we want, because we're connected, we're one with that, and we know that, we inherently feel and sense that. So when we're in that energy, then more becomes possible. We begin to reawaken that from the 5D and beyond, that there's an infinite givingness that comes from Source that wants to give everything to us. It already is giving everything to us, but that we start realizing it will give, and it will give more to me energetically, and therefore in a substantive way as well. There's a form that it wants to take, right? Financially, relationships, health, whatever it is. And when I open to it, I say, I'm ready for this. And we feel that. We let it come, have a sense of it coming from the higher dimensional realm, from the ethers, and allow that to come into a wave and into our body. All of a sudden, it just magically will start to show up in our lives in a place holding inside of ourselves that's been tight and not willing to see that happen, the scared self, the contracted self, the wounded self begins to let go, begins to give into it. So when we do specific healing, we can utilize a higher dimensional realm to come in and to transmute these energies directly in that way. However, at the same time, we can see those things shift even within the midst of just asking from a higher dimensional realm, allowing ourselves to channel it, basically, what wants to happen. And then the wiggly nigglies will probably come up anyway. You can address those things as they come up. Allow yourself plenty of time to let it settle in and get the support you need energetically and otherwise to be supported in that. Allow it to land. Like I have clients who, as they start asking bigger, I'm ready for this big financial months, and I'm ready for my business to, go up, by $250,000 this year or whatever it is. Then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, I've got so much energy. They're empathic, they're sensitive, they feel the energy, they pick up on that. They're like, oh my God, I've got all these things going on. I'm in a crisis now with my energy. And then with the support they have in their lives, and from me as well, what happens is when you have the support is people can help guide you through that and keep seeing your truth, seeing who you are, until you are seeing what it is that you've been asking big for to come into fruition. So when you have the support of other beings, other human beings, and from the higher realms and whatnot, when you allow yourself to gather that support, you can keep getting the reminders. It's on the way. It's on the way. Your mind doesn't need to know, right? Often we think we need a plan. We have to have it all figured out. Like, I'll be safe when X, Y, Z shows up exactly the way that my mind thinks is safe and will be smart and right for it to happen. When what we really need to do is give ourselves to the energy of what wants to happen and let the rest be filled in from the energy. I could use, again, big and small examples. Like, again, I had another one from the weekend. Now, it wasn't asking big, but it shows the principle of when you're coming from higher dimensional, how things happen naturally and easily and effortlessly. So I was getting breakfast at the hotel we were at, and this happens all the time. I wasn't, again, it was just I was open to receiving. I wasn't trying to make anything happen. I was just of the intent, okay, I want to order this and that. And I'd also like that, but I don't feel like spending the extra money on it. So, in the energy packet, because I'm very open to receiving extra food, I'm like, it's already set in my energy, not because I consciously that day had set it up, but I set up long ago in my subconscious that I'm ready to receive gifts in many ways, including food, when I go to restaurants. So when I have something that comes to me and the energy packet comes in from the higher dimension, I'm just like, oh yeah, that would be fun. I like that. And that's all it takes. I don't even have to, I'm literally not thinking about having it. I'm not, in terms of like, I have to have it. I hope I'm going to do a magic trick here and make this happen. Literally not doing anything. All I'm doing is being in the energy. I'm just enjoying myself. I'm just enjoying playing with the opportunities to receive. And I'm not even seriously thinking about anything happening at all. And all of a sudden then it shows up. So in that case, like the extra item that I wanted that I didn't feel like putting the money into, well, they happened to be giving it to somebody else that was in the party. And they made two of them by accident, and then I got the extra one, and it happens all the time. Grace is so powerful. The grace of Source God coming into your life to provide infinite abundance is here. The mind always says there's only so much, and that's it. I couldn't possibly get an extra item of this or that from that restaurant. That's going to take from them. That will not be good for them. But in fact, when I'm having a positive experience of being there and they supposedly make an accident, I'm thinking, wow, they're part of my higher dimensional grid here in the 3D, and I love them, and I want to be with them. I want to talk about this establishment. I want to love this establishment. I want more energy circulating here, and that brings my energy into it and brings more people into it in a higher dimensional level, even at levels I can't see. It's creating more abundance for that business. So I might, and it could show up in so many different ways, right? I'm just giving you one example. It's not all about like I get free stuff or whatever, but whatever it is, it's like when you're in a 10, an energy of what thrills you and delights you and has you receiving and realizing it's not taking from others, there's always a sense of, like I could have said, hey, take it back, but I didn't literally ask for it from them on a physical level. They just say, here, have it. They gave it to me freely. I did not say, you have to give that to me, or you should give it to me, or I want to have it. They just said, here, have it. So when you're in alignment, that's what happens. Life just starts giving you, here, have it. Like I had an intent for my calendar. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes I don't want to have my schedule filled with things. Have you ever felt that way? It's like, hey, I just need some space for, okay, I'm not feeling like filling up my schedule. Then that happens. Then I get a feeling like, hey, I'm really ready. I'm ready for my schedule to fill up, the new people to talk to and whatnot. That's what's happened like for this week. Like I've got a whole bunch of people on my schedule. Certain tactics and things were used, but it started really just with intent. I want it filled in, and I let it happen in the easiest, most joyful, flowing way as possible, because that's all part of my intentions. So I'm asking, my own way, I'm asking big with minimal effort, and that's how we want to do it. We want to ask, that's where this living from the higher dimensions, the 5D and beyond, letting that to be the way we live our lives is the natural way we can live. And yet still sometimes, for some of us at times, less so lately for me, less and less so over the years for me. But a lot of times the 3D and 4D keeps coming in and, whoa, you better take care of your survival needs. You better willpower this thing up. You better crush that goal or else, or something bad's going to happen. You might die. You might not have enough. You might not achieve enough. You might be worthwhile. You might be cast out. You might be seen as a loser, as a reject. You're no good. That you're an idiot. That you're weird. You're nuts or whatever. And when we allow ourselves to realize, yeah, maybe to embrace some of that sense that I might be untethered and I'm insane with the energy of what I want to do, to get insane and get into it, and then allow yourself to show up in the way that you're being called to, even when to your mind, if you think about it and you go to edit it and you try to change the initial impulse of what's channeling, that if you stop editing, as I said in my masterclass recently, you stop editing, you start just going with it and letting it happen instead of all your mental controls that come in. Wait a minute, let's stop. Maybe it should be like this, maybe it should be like that. You just let it fly. You get beyond the circumstances and the so-called evidence of what's showing up. All of a sudden, you start seeing things are unfolding for you on a whole nother level. So thank you for your comments. Adria, thank you. Release the planning so hard. Yep. And then Lisa, love this so much. It's about alignment and guided into the bigger thinking visualization. Yes. Hi, Rissa. Yes. Everything, Lisa, you're saying there. Wonderful. My energetic mind seems to control my schedule. I'd love to maybe hear more about that. And then Adria says, this space is scary now, but my soul knows it is so right. That's right. Is really giving yourself to it. Because a lot of us tuning in here have worked hard, or we've utilized mental power to make things happen. And what we're starting to realize is that's very limiting. It's exhausting. Yeah, I say, like, I could enroll any client. I could win any sports match. So, anything I have some skill in. I'm playing with people who are, somewhat close to me and skill. I could win all day long, with mental power, that one day. But it's not sustainable. Eventually you'll crack down. You will break down. I mean, there's lots of success stories where people, for years they did well, and then also they have a nervous breakdown, they disappear off the map, and you don't hear from them for a long time or ever again. It happens, and it's just limiting. It's just limiting is the bottom line. It's not our truest nature. And when we allow it to become automatic, when we're allowing that which was coming through and we're not editing anymore, editing can be like overriding our higher dimensional energy. of 5D and beyond, and allowing ourselves, oh, I will focus on it until it happens on a mental straight line, and then it'll happen. That's the Industrial Revolution energy, right? I mean, that's all this stuff that we've been up till now, and it's created things that were better in some ways than just 3D natural living with the earth or something like that, or feudal systems or whatever, all the different ways we've lived over all these years, produced some better things. Because I've thought a lot about these things. I'm like, would we be better out in huts, out in nature, just taking in the sun rays, right? I mean, isn't that a more natural way of living? Isn't that a greater place? I thought, oh yeah, well, you're a little unprotected out there in some ways, but if you're fully awake, it wouldn't be a problem, right? No, we wouldn't have the fun of being connected on the internet. Maybe that could be okay because we're going to be telepathically all connected now, right? Like there's so many different ways we can live. There's so many different choices we can make, and the mind is always trying to figure it out. But my point is, it's like we have to let go of that. We have to allow ourselves just to say, you know what, I don't know where this is going, but I'm willing to find out by being in the energy of what wants to happen. Okay, so let's see what other comments are coming through here. I made things exhausting. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we all do that sometimes. Just can't do it that way anymore, right? So Risa says, yes, learning, less trying to force things. Absolutely. Just be in energetic alignment as, yes. And then Lisa Claire gave more information. She said, meaning my mind is powerful. When I feel like filling up my schedule, it happens. When I just want to chill, relax, and work on me, my schedule slows down, right? Yeah, so you're manifesting perfectly that way. And that's my invitation for everyone. Notice what you're asking for, really. There's, I've been wanting this and that's not happening. Okay, what have you really been asking for? The more quiet voice, what is it asking for? There's a quieter voice inside you, just yearning for something. Like even if it's not always like in your mind good, right? Oh, I just want to eat more candy, or I just want more naps, or I just want this or that. And then, if you wanted more naps, like your next client doesn't show up, right? Like, here, you want a nap? Okay. If you wanted to have more clients and you want to really fill up your schedule, and it's like, but you're a little concerned about it, but like mostly your energy is like, oh man, I really want that. I'm ready for that. Like, that's what you're really asking for. So or you're open to, right? It's all about semantics, all these different words we try to use to point to it. But like, what are you energetically open to right now? Whatever it is fine, it's fine. It is what it is. But realizing that there's more that wants to come through, something of a different quality or nature at least, what wants to come through. And we often use the word more. Maybe it means less. Maybe less is more. Less activity, more receiving the high vibrations and manifesting more of what would delight you. That could be world-changing for you and the people you're here to serve, and what's really wanting to happen through you. Things you can't imagine, things you just don't know about. Things you just don't know about. You can't see it all. You can't create the unknown from your mind or from your willpower. You can't create all of it from that place. You just can't. You're limited that way. So, but when you come from the unknown, you're willing to embrace, I don't know, but I want to be in the energy of what wants to come through me. And as I'm tuning into that, maybe visions come, but more importantly, the energy comes through, and then things are happening. I'm drawn to certain people, I'm drawn to certain opportunities, and then I'm creating from that space. I just want to follow that energy. And I want to trust that energy. I want to trust the energy more than I have to make something happen, right? So allowing yourself to be more in that and asking big within that. Man, I'd love to just feel the most amazing energy and manifest whatever it is you'd love to manifest. It's always an experience. If I have millions of dollars, now what am I experiencing? Okay, now that's going to be an experience. What is the experience that you would want? Then often we get too much in our head. But instead, you just tune into the energy of, hey, what if I was a millionaire? Okay. For me, I'm like, yeah, a few things would change, but I would continue to just go deeper with what I'm already doing and expanding upon things from there. So it's not like, wow, finally I'll have the life I want once I have millions. No, it's more like, oh, thank you. I'm just going to keep saying yes to what I'm doing and allow the energy to continue to expand. And yeah, that's going to allow me some new opportunities. But that would be great. That's huge. It's amazing. I'm totally for that. Yes, yes, yes. And I just want to allow it to amplify my joy. I want it to amplify the feeling and qualities that I want to embody, right? What are the feeling qualities or energetic qualities you want to embody? And only do you want to receive the more from that space, really, right? You don't want to experience more with more strife, more struggling, more concepts, more being in your head, even if you could, right? You don't, that's not what you're looking for. So realize it totally is available. It's totally available from a higher vibration. And actually, it's more easily available, and it perhaps could never happen unless you allow the greater vibration, a higher vibration to come through to create it all. So anyway, so asking big. So think about specific ways you could ask big. How can I ask big? First, by just being committed to joy and bliss and love, and at the highest level. Like, I'm committed to that. I'm to the highest vibe possible. And then from that place, everything else is secondary, right? It's kind of like Eckhart Tolle kind of teaching and many other teachers, but being in the presence, being in the energy, is sufficient in itself. And it will create all the extras you're looking for, probably anyway, naturally, easily, more easily than ever before. So asking big vibrationally is the key. And then allowing yourself to follow the energy. Like they say, follow the energy. Often we're following what our concepts are. So, and then, I'm following the energy, but you're following a concept more than you're following the higher vibrational energy, letting that get into your body, and then following that energy. How do you do that? Some people always, like, the mind always says, well, how do you do it? Just get playful, get curious. Just be like, hey, what feels like fun right now, right? What feels loving? What feels expanded for me to focus on right now? And then let everything be created from that space. Then just let everything, all the asking big, so-called asking big, happens from that space. How will that change? What feels fun for you to focus on for the kind of life you want? What feels fun for you to experience in your purpose, in your business? What feels fun, just delights you? The most successful people financially in the world sometimes are miserable, but more so I hear that they're doing exactly what they love. More so. There's always other examples. Some people love to be in misery and bring other people in misery, and then they're doing their passion anyway, right? And they're making the billions, right? They're committed to this, lower dimensional thing, and they're loving it, and they're pouring out the money that way. But, for people like us who can only do it on a higher dimensional level, otherwise it's not happening for us. The financial success, the next level of sales. So when you're coming from a higher dimension, become more attractive and sexy and live to everybody. And when you're in that energy, you're able to produce, the energy is able to produce greater results for your clients. And it produces greater results in your relationships. It produces greater health and well-being for those around you. So it's producing all these greater results just by you being committed to being of higher vibration. So that's the key, is allowing yourself to have, they say, raise the standards, right? It's like Tony Robbins and other motivational people. Raise the standards. Are we raising the standards when it comes to our vibration and allowing that energy to be what creates everything, rather than the idea I got to get in there, I got to make it happen. That's very egoic. That's very limited. And eventually breaks down. So no matter how powerful you are at that level, eventually it breaks down every single time. It's what I see, especially for people that will be listening to this broadcast. So, all right, I could babble on for a long time on this subject. I'm grateful to do so. Joyful expectation, Risa put in, absolutely. Just being open to see how it manifests. Absolutely. Yes, high vibes. Healing for us and others. Exactly. Everything, heaven on earth exists by being in this high vibe. So when people say, no, you should feel really bad about that. You should be really afraid. You should feel really shameful, because you're part of that. And we're all in this together. And so that these people murdered those people. You're part of those people, right? Don't you see how you're connected to them? You should feel really bad about those people murdering those people. And now you should feel horrible, and you should whip yourself. You should, feel horrible all day long, like all day until this problem resolves itself. We never see another instance of that ever happen in the world ever again. And until then, you better not feel good, not for 1 second. That is literally the transmission that's being sent out there while we continue to deepen and raise in vibration at the same time, right? Just the pesky critters coming in and say, wait a minute, I can get you. I can get you. I can get you back into this. Remember guilt, remember shame, remember fear. Don't you remember us? And what we can do is say, yeah, I remember. Thanks for the reminder. I remember you're always there. You're my friend. Thank you for showing up. And I'm saying yes to high vibration. At the same time, you continue to give me these stories, low vibration. I'm saying yes to the high vibration. I'm saying heaven is on earth here perpetually for those that are willing to have it and experience it. Where there's equality for everything. Not only equality, but expanded opportunity for everything and everyone. And we know that when we're in that vibration. We know that. We trust that. We get into the lower brain centers, we don't trust any of it. We think we have to fight for everything. We have to conquer and divide. We've got to do all this crap. And it all ends up being crap. Just survival mechanisms. It's just old egoic structures. Heaven on earth lives here now for all that willing to receive it. So we're willing to ask big and receive big. And really, it's just naturally receiving who we are. We can navigate anything easily and effortlessly. Willing to understand who we are and who each being in our life really is. We're willing to be really present with them and see them deeply. Not based on what their mental concepts are or what they've did 5 minutes ago even, or whatever they've done, or whatever the position is on a concept, right? Everything's concept. Do you lie on this side of this argument or that side? They're all concepts. They're all concepts. Yeah, I mean, they all end up being concepts. But when we really get presence, what do we see? Who are they? Who are these people we're judging? Who am I who I'm judging? Who am I really? And you remember, oh, I'm love. Oh, you're love. I see that love in you. You can't fool me. I see the love in you. I see the love in me. I see the love in you. Let's come together in that frequency. Let's create heaven on earth. I'm not asking you mentally to do that, but I'm going to be in a vibration that carries you into that. I don't always have to mentally ask you. I mean, I could. I could always ask big that way, right? I could always ask big mentally as well, but primarily it's the energy. First and foremost is the energy, because otherwise it's just more of the old stuff. So I sort of already did some group scanning that I talked about doing earlier. Like, I'm just getting like, I'm nervous. I don't know. I mean, I'm meant to be a greater channel. Maybe I won't know what to say. I don't know if I know how to be a channel of the divine fully. I mean, I could do it a little bit maybe, but I don't know if I could fully do this thing, whatever it is. You don't. Remember, you do not know. But it does. It does. Source does. Whatever you want to call it. It does know. It knows it all. It knows it all. But your little mind, no. It's never going to really know it. It's never going to really know it. But the higher frequency, the trueness of who you are as a soul, or whatever you want to call it all, the greater field of who you are, the greater possibility of what's possible through you, and therefore the frequency and who you truly are, and already knows it. And it's beyond words, it's beyond concepts. And all you have to do again is follow that energy. All is given freely to all those that are willing to be given freely to. That includes the people that are seemingly like the people in our story that are coming to us, giving to us. Wow, everybody wants to invest in what I'm offering. Wow. Probably I'm taking from them all then, right? No. I probably should feel guilty about it and do it for free. No. How is it contributing for a mental orientation if we need one? And training wheels until we're ready to let go. How is this contributing to their life? Wow, they're investing their energy. They're filled with joy when they do it. It feels even more amazing when they're investing. I can see it in them when I'm willing to see it. When I'm willing to see it, I see greater opportunities for those that are putting so much of their energy into it. And I'm willing to say yes to that so they can have a more expanded experience of their lives, of who they are, to know who they are, the infinite prosperity and abundance, just like I am, that we can resonate on that level together. And their life will be incredibly expanded. They'll experience increases in known and unknown ways through what it is I'm contributing to their life and to lives around them, because there's a greater field I'm contributing to. That the money really isn't coming from any one direction, not even coming from them. It's coming from source. It comes from all directions in all ways and means. It's just a way of acknowledging that we're having a good time. I don't know how else to put it. It's natural, it's abundant, it's automatic when we just say yes to it. Source is supplying it, and it's unlimited. Every time the mind says, yeah, but look at the economy, it's X amount of dollars. Source is like, yeah, there's a lot more. If you just ask for it, we're going to give you even more. But we know if we get more money in circulation, then it's going to lead to this, because we already know that. Another concept. Careful what you agree to. It could become your experienced reality. I don't know what's going on here, right? Like the whole story of like when, I don't know, so somebody said this story recently where you got like, well, they were talking about people are like awake more or less. Okay, like the awake person goes into one room, it's filled with shit, then the other room is like, person's totally not awake, and it's like filled with gold. Well, the not awake person's like, finally I got it. And, but wait a minute, isn't there even more in here? Where's the pro? Oh my God, but we got so many problems. We're going to run out of money eventually. Before you know, they're complaining, right? But the awakened person in the room of shit says, what? Already know the answer. You've heard this one before. Oh my God, I'm so abundant. There's so many opportunities here. I wonder how many ponies I must have taken to create all this crap. I must have access to that somehow. It must be around, even though I can't see it. The awake person understands it, already knows that I don't even need any of it in the first place, but it's fun to know that that exists. I don't need any of it. I no longer need it, but I know it's available. And I'm so grateful for that, because that's fun. It feels really awesome to be with that. But yet it's fine if it's not even around, if it doesn't ever materialize, it's okay. It's okay. I don't care, because I understand I'm the infinite field. If something else wants to show up, that's perfectly fine too. Perfectly fine. I'm going to have a good time either way. One way or another, I'm going to have a good time. It's okay to receive. You're meant to be joyful and receive. It's this idea, well, then I'll owe them something. If I let them give to me, then if I ask big, then I'm going to owe big. And that's not true. So that's what I'm hearing. Like so many of these things, I've been scanning you guys throughout. It's not true. Not true that you owe them big. No. Source has something to provide, and you're just going to follow the frequency of what it wants to give. No matter what your set program is, we got a program for people. Appreciate your comments. Thanks for sharing everything. The heart knows that, and the mind says, but what if I don't have what it takes to help them? Even though that hasn't been my experience, right? Exactly. Like you could get it wrong, even though like almost every single person you've ever helped is like just really happy with what you've done for them in most cases. So it's blocking me today. I have a horrible feeling coming up. Part of me feels fear or thinks I'm not good enough. Old stuff coming up around for clearing. I'd love some help with that today if you're offering scans. Yes, you're tapping into it. It's okay not to know. My mind freaks out. Yep. Okay, so I don't know if I missed any other comments. So yeah, sure, I'm happy to help. I could do maybe a couple energy scans today. Risa, I can go ahead and do one for you because I hear you're asking. I can do a transmission for you and others here. It's coming up for a lot of people. I got one part of me that's totally on board, another part of me that's freaking out or having horrible feelings. And okay, all right. Let me tune into Risa and know again when I'm doing this again. I'll be tuning in transmissions for her and others around whatever's coming through. Let's see. So what's going on? I feel like you're downloading things and it's just like, this is how it comes to me. You're like, there's so much, where are we going to put everything? So it's almost like when people are getting ready to receive a new shipment or something physically, it's like, oh my God, there's so much, where's the room for all this to go? So like if you're getting ideas, you're getting input, you're getting an expansion of energy and there's so much, you're like, oh my God, how does this fit into my current energy and my current life? And therefore, it can turn into even a physical concern. Like, where are we going to put everything? Well, you need to open up the space. You're going to need to let go of things. You may need to let go of the house you're in to fit in all the things that, the energetic house or the literal house, in order to fit in everything that wants to be in the new house. So just naturally would want to be in that new house. Not because you're trying to conquer and obtain and to have in that way, but because it just seems like it wants to happen. It just seems true. I mean, or maybe some of you are ready to downsize. I see people all the time these days sell all their possessions and leave with a backpack on, and that's it, and they travel the world or something, right? So, so it's not always, so, opening up the space could mean something like that as well. I mean, everybody's path is different. I'm just getting like a lot of creativity, a lot of ideas that want to come through. And you're like, well, whoa, okay, back to reality. All right, I got these things to do though right now. Okay, I mean, that's all fine and well. But I got these things to take care of right now. Let me get focused on those. Let me just bang those out, so to speak. Let's get those things done. That's what I'm seeing come through. Okay, we got that done. We got this done. We got that done. Okay. I keep getting all these things. I was supposed to be doing all these things. Okay. Yeah, that's saying, like, I need to let go of the life that's been so I can receive the life that's always wanted to be. Oh, how can I do that? Of course, this is what our constrictions say, and they're very convincing. They're like, remember, it's like a metastasized thing, energy, that says, oh, you already know that's not going to happen, and why you can't do it, and why that would be horrible to even consider, or whatever, like whatever the thing is. Okay. So I'm setting intention for an energy for you, Risa, and for others is I'm willing not to know how it's going to happen or where it's coming from for this to unfold, but I just sense that it's here. Like when I just tune into that, it's always been with me, and rather like don't bother me today. Like one participant on Masterclass says, talk to the hand. Like as a pattern, like. Because I'm busy down here. It's easy for you to say higher dimension. I got the 3D to deal with. So instead of doing that, just say, hey, yeah, totally. Let's have fun. Let's allow that to happen. Be the way through me. I'm willing to follow the way. You're still going to, you're still going to chop wood and carry water or whatever. In the meantime, alongside whatever is being created often anyway, most of you, some of you know, you'll stop all that and just you totally change your life like in a drastic way right away. That's fine too. So whatever the truth is for you, great. Setting intention to let go. I can trust that the power is within me to allow this to be created. This great thing, this great new opportunity to create new revenue, new impact in the world, this new center I want to create, this new thing I want to birth into the world, the influence that's needed, the financial wherewithal I need. It's here. It's with me. It's within me. It's not out there. It's within me. It's not out there. Okay. It's within me. Because I'm one with Source, and so it's within me. I'm one with Source. Just feel like people that you're letting go of. Oh, we need to take care of them though, and we don't want to leave anybody behind. Kind of vibe I'm getting. Okay, so what if it's not about leaving people behind, but it's about allowing opening space for them and within you for something new to happen. Letting go of these old patterns for you and for them. No matter how great you think you are, no matter how much good you've done in their life, and maybe some of them have done some good things for you, of course, too, but that there's something greater, and the only way to receive that is to let go of them and to give them their freedom, too. Because that's opening something for them now, too. Because if you're getting the impulse to let go, it's meant for them, too, for you to let go. Okay. Yeah, sometimes just realizing like the angels could have them covered, or what they need is there. I mean, just praying for them. You could keep praying for them, but to not be so involved anymore. Move forward. Okay. As you're raised in frequency, everybody, you're going to leave other old relationships behind. You can't bring it with. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Does it mean all your relationships will leave you? No. It just means like so much will leave you. So many things in relationships will leave you. Just again, it's an old truth, but it bears repeating. It's okay. We are meant to love each other during this time. So much good has happened here. This love is eternal. It never could be violated. It's time for me to move on, though. It's time for me to move on in the ways that I've been being with this being. Actually, there's more power available for me to not be with them in the way I have been. There's more love and more good available, at least, by me letting go. Okay. I trust that. I'm hearing yes. Okay. Yeah, you'll inspire people as you create the new. Rasa, I get this for others. You'll inspire people. People that are ready for it will rise up with you. The people that aren't, they just are where they are. They just don't have that. It just may not be their time yet. Maybe it could be, but they're just not there yet. It's not your responsibility for you to take them with you. It's your responsibility to be with what's wanting to unfold for you. What naturally carries, whatever boats raise from there, as they say, will raise automatically from there. Thank you. Just hear something about being a master student, something about willing to be a master student of what wants to unfold right now. Can't keep doing this other stuff anymore. I'm meant to learn something profoundly new, in a sense. Something profoundly new wants to come in me. You've been rich, you've been prospered, you've done so many things in past lives. So part of you is like, well, I've been there, I've done that before. But that energy is wanting to be reharnessed now in a new way in this life. Create the good that's meant to be brought into consciousness and awareness for you and for all right now. Thank you, and so it is. Okay. All right, I've also got, okay, so that's what I got for you, and then I've got time to do maybe one more. real quick with Adria. I'm scared of no thingness. Yep, I feel much is happening, but it's not visible to me now. Yeah. You're welcome, Risa. Thank you. Just tuning in to what they're showing me. They're saying the bloated nothingness, that the whole thing with the bloated nothingness being removed, that you're not a body, that you're not, we are connected. Our energy is connected to a body, right? But we're not a body. We're not a somebody or a nobody, like all this nonsense too. So, okay. As long as I razzle dazzle them, I'll be good. Like that old pattern, right? We've talked about that. Yeah, give them the old razzle dazzle. What music is that from Chicago, right? Yeah, love that song. Give them the old razzle dazzle. That way they can't get at me. You can't get at me as long as I keep giving you the razzle dazzle. Whatever it is for each of you, and for you, Adria, you know what it is for you. You know the razzle dazzle. You do. Wait a minute, I've got charisma. I've got all this great stuff to bring forth. Is that razzle dazzle too? Can we tune in? Well, the universal truth, until I'm willing to be with nothing, no thing, I can't be with everything. You're always limited. Until I can be good with being with no thing, I can't be with everything, with the allness that I am. So it's just really committing, almost like chills or whatever energy coming through. That's sort of like you're shaking, like, oh yeah, energy coming through. So in this way, you are dissolving the razzle dazzle. You're letting it all go. It'll never be the same. It can never be like that again. Not like that. Not like that. Yeah. Am I going to be boring? Is no one going to love me? Is everyone going to think whatever? Going to think ill of me? Going to think I'm pathetic rather than accomplished? Like I always loved being accomplished and seen in that wonderful way. And till I'm willing to be nothing, I can't be with everything I am. That's the mantra. Okay, I'm up against a little time limit, so to speak. I need to start wrapping it up. That's what I'm hearing. So blessings for you and for everyone on that, to be with the no thing, so you could be the everything that you already are. You are all of it already, but the way you're being with it, with the everything, is distorted. So you got to be willing to be with the no thing. Start to clear it like a chalkboard. Just erase it again and again. Come back to nothing. And let the infinite write from there. Write everything from there, so to speak. If there's something to be written, let it write it. Not me. It writes, not me. If it's razzle-dazzling, if that's it, or whatever, it's doing its magical thing, absolutely, that's the only true power there's ever been. So I recognize that now. Let it be my truth. Let it be my truth. Know it to be true. Thank you, God. So it is. Amen. Getting my eraser. Thank you. All right. Love that. Okay. I'm grateful to hear that, Rissa. And thank you for everybody that's been listening in and will listen in later. So be it. Jess. So I'm so grateful for this time together with you. I'm going to go ahead. I'll put it in the link for the Reset from Regrets for tomorrow night. It's for free, folks. So you definitely want to take a look at that. There will be the ability to get a replay. You'll learn about that once you opt in for the event. I do have it pinned in the group. You'll find the link and me talking with Susan in the group. But I'll also put the link in here as soon as I get a chance right after the live. Okay, everybody. Hey, Lisa. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, everybody, and look forward to being with you next week at the same time. Okay, lots of love. Goodbye for now, everybody.